severe thunderstorm watch continues for the listening area. Tonight, we'll see showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy with a low of 70, with a chance for showers and thunderstorms throughout the day tomorrow. I'm meteorologist Patrick McMillan on News Radio WGNS. Right now, it's 89.
Portions of our programming have been pre-recorded. The Good Neighbor Network, WGNS, Murfreesboro, Smyrna. Flagship station for MTSU Sports.
Touched by Angels, locally owned and operated in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Call Tamanika Turner, 615-877-5969, or via email touchedbyangel2018@gmail.com. They offer a wide range of handmade custom crafts from blankets to t-shirts, jewelry, tumblers, and wreaths. Also, decor for events from baby showers to weddings. If you need decor, call Touched by Angels. These shirts for Simplicity Radio, or jackets if you want to order for $25, t-shirts for $12 or $12.50. Call her. I want to see everybody walking around with these shirts for Simplicity Radio. You haven't been touched until you've been touched by this angel, Tamanika Turner, 615-877-5969 to order your shirt for Simplicity Radio broadcasts.
This is Michelle Gibson with United Realty Group in South Florida, where I listen to and support Simplicity Radio with Angela Bingham. If you are looking to buy or sell real estate in the South Florida area, don't forget to contact me at 561-336-6119 or Michelle with 2 L's at the number 4 salepbc.com. You are listening to Simplicity Radio with Angela Bingham on WGNS 1450 on your dial. Stay tuned for more stimulating conversation.
It's not just your home or car. I'm State Farm Agent Emerson Williams. We see your home and car as the time and memories that you put into it. Give me a call at 615-459-2683 and let me help you give them the protection they deserve.
Hello everybody, this is Coach Scott Oatsfall with LT360, and we are proud sponsors of Simplicity Radio with Angela Bingham. LT360 is an all-natural healthcare company specializing in getting people healthy at the cellular level while nurturing the whole person, mind, body, and spirit. We're an all-natural healthcare, so if you struggle with high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, or you're looking to get off your medication and change your life, then you can give us a call at 615-815-0390 or lt360.com. And again, you're listening to Simplicity Radio with my sister, woman of power and faith, Angela Bingham.
You're listening to Simplicity Sunday with your host, Angela Bingham, broadcasting live on your good neighbor station, News Radio WGNS, every Sunday from 6 until 7 p.m. Thanks for tuning into the show, and remember, 1 hour of simplicity can change your life in Jesus Christ.
WGNS Radio, FM 101.9, FM 100.5, AM 1450. And I'd just like to say, first of all, it's a blessing just to have this opportunity once more, especially being here with Jaden again. And thank you for Ms. Bingham, of course, for allowing this opportunity to be on us again. And today, we actually have a new guest. And I'm going to allow him to introduce himself before we get right into this.
My name is Dalen, and I'm 11 years old, and I go to Blackman Middle. And I also want to shout out to my mom for letting me be here with this experience.
And who was your mom, hon?
Keosha.
And what is your last name?
Lusk.
What?
Lusk.
Say it in the mic.
Lusk.
All right. Tell people who you are, first and last name.
Yes, ma'am.
This is Angie B. That's me.
And I just want to say it's a wonderful coincidence that actually Miss Bingham, she ended up teaching, I'm pretty sure, all of us at one age or another, especially me being in kindergarten. I'm sure she taught Dalen, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Oh, yes, if I'm not mistaken also.
All right, bet. So, yeah, no, Miss Angie, she definitely has a hold on this community. We make sure she keeps that. So we're going to make sure she gets all the praise and all the welcome that she needs for just allowing this to be here today. And today we actually were supposed to have 2 more guests on. Y'all know Gary, but right now he's running AAU track, so wish him the best of luck. He's in one of his final events for, I'm pretty sure, the 100 and 200 going to state, and probably even nationals. And we also had a young woman. She is 9 years old, and she actually has let me pull it up for y'all. It is a lemonade stand business, and if I can get the website for y'all, I will give it. Okay, so here it is right here. It's www.ybkday.org, and if you go to that website, her name is, if I'm saying this right, Kayla Maven, and she has
yes.
Maven. Okay, make sure I'm gotten that right. Kayla's Flavored Lemonade Paradise, and this young lady, like I said, is only 9 years old, and she's already with an organization, realistically, because that's what she's in right now, and also doing, if not more things than we're doing right now. So shout out to her, shout out to keep doing all those things, and hopefully she be prosperous. And actually on July 15th they have an event, and I'll tell y'all more about that. Right now it's from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Mount Gilead Missionary Baptist Church, 404 Lebanon Pike, Hermitage, Tennessee 37076. And with that, today is really just going to be an update episode, because we haven't tapped in with y'all in a minute. And as you know, we keep it real here on Simplicity, and we're just grateful to be here. So we just want to update y'all, really. And we're going to get to some more, we're going to call them some more exciting things near the end of the podcast, but we'll save that just so y'all tune in. But I heard that you said you went to Blackman, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to Blackman Middle right now.
Yes.
So you know Coach Maston and Coach Purvis?
Yes.
Are they still tough? I know Coach Maston probably still.
Definitely Coach Maston, yes.
How Coach Purvis doing? He taught my 8th grade history class. How he doing?
I mean, he's doing good. He's still Coach Purvis.
Coach Purvis is always, he's one of them guys, definitely a character. But Coach Maston, speaking to him, definitely shout out to him, because he taught me at a very young age. It's a funny story. I was with one of my cousins and actually a couple of my friends. He was coaching the basketball team, and for some reason we found out that this was back in middle school, by the way. So y'all do not hold me to this. This was a long time ago, but we found what were Gatorade boxes, like in those coolers, right? And we found them in the one of his classrooms. And so what we did was we planned a little youngin' heist, is what I like to call it, just keep it light and fun. But what we did is, like, we went in there, right, and then we didn't see him, obviously. And so what he did was he came back out. He was like, he didn't even say a word. We just looked back at him. And it was already near the end of the day, so I don't know what inspired him to give us grace that day, but instead of taking us to the principal, what he did was he sat down and talked to us like young men and the young women that were there too, and just said to make the right choices. So shout out to him for being a great role model, and hopefully one day we can hopefully get Coach Maston on here.
Yes, I know Coach Maston, so that is definitely a thing that we can do. I really think that when you have adults as mentors and they build those relationships, that we allow young people to become themselves with the boundaries. I'm going to call Mom over to the mic as well a little bit later and ask her so she can be prepared to answer this. What is it that you do to instill the greatness within your children at a young age, that they can believe whatever they want to be, they become? And I can see it in this young man here, that the way he sits, the way he speaks, the way you give eye contact, and to you all as well. I am huge on that, because your self-esteem of where you're going is knowing who you are within. And I want to encourage every young person, every adult, if you do not have a person like that in your life, seek somebody out. I am available, aren't I?
Yes, ma'am.
But I really love young people because we had somebody to steer us in the right direction with accountability. Because what I'm finding out with young people today, nobody likes to be corrected. And I said, if you can't stand to be corrected, your whole life is going in a way of rebellion, because authority is authority, and it is implemented in what we do. It's almost a natural norm. The red light is a place of authority. If you're driving, it will tell you to what?
Stop.
To stop. So there's always going to be something to tell you yes, no. And I just think when you do it at a younger age and grow up with that respect for who you are and respect for authority, because we're talking about young people being strengthened during the struggles, all of that. And it takes some correction in there, it takes some compliments, it takes all of that. I'm so proud of you all. And Deshaun, I am so proud of you. Deshaun is my co-host. And we're going to have more young people co-hosting. And he said, Miss Angela, well, if you don't really want to come, you don't really have to come. Because I want simplicity to be passed on to the younger generation. And I wanted to go and do greater things. And your confidence in your voice, I said, he really has this. He really has that. But somebody has to give you an opportunity to come in a door that normally wouldn't be open for us.
Speaking about opportunities, I like that you brought that up. And speaking on simplicity and how it can grow, I was going to save it till later, but it just seems like the right time now. We're going to kickstart me and Jaden and Gary. Like I mentioned, he couldn't be here, but that is still one of our brothers. He's still a founding member of that Gifted Kings podcast, and maybe soon to be rebranded, just depending on what the name is right now, just because it was a school brand. And at first we just decided that was a good way to spread influence and positivity across our school. So as we transition, we might change the name, not to feel like we're becoming adults, but just to mature in a type of way that allows us to hold ourselves in a different light. So with that, we will be kickstarting that podcast as soon as tomorrow, really, honestly, if we can get an episode down. But just be on the lookout for that on YouTube. We're trying to get on Twitch. I don't know, Jaden, any other platforms that we do?
Yeah, like Twitch, Spotify, maybe Twitter. I don't know.
Twitter is kind of, I don't know. Twitter it's a little free roam over there. I don't know, that it can get a little too real in Twitter. Some people
Twitter people do anything.
Like, yeah, but I honestly, that would be good for a podcast. Honestly, just having those ideas and ideals just out there in the open like that. But if you're tuning into Simplicity,
just been doing our own thing lately, and like summer been pretty busy and stuff like that. Cause like Gary would track me. Been finding a job. I just got hired at Sonic, but yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And even with simplicity, and we often tell people simplicity just means that you have accepted the unconditional love of God in your life. And when you know that love, there's a purpose that comes within you. Once you step out into that purpose, you'll have a supernatural peace about who you are. And you can walk in your passion. And you don't have to worry about being perfect. And you don't have to worry about pleasing others. But there's something within that will give you that ability to say, I'm born for this. And you know why you're here. So when young people start out knowing that, you all have a better inroad to where you want to go. So speak to Jaden, speak to our people about what you decided and how you decided to get in the avenue of sports or wherever. Thank you, Jackson. Jackson, our producer, just makes the show runs with a spirit of excellence. I missed him last Sunday. So go ahead with your questions, Deshaun. Deshaun is looking so handsome over here.
Thank you.
All these handsome men, it's young boys, and I want you all to keep be fresh. And keep yourself in a sense that when people have opportunity for you, you're ready to say yes.
Yes, ma'am. And with that, I like that you brought up knowing who you are and what you want to do from an early age, especially with those mentors and guidance around you. I was actually tasked to watch Shooting Stars was the movie, right?
Yeah.
I remember that was the title about LeBron James and his come up. So in that, with relevance to us, he grew up with a single mom, if I'm not mistaken, from day one. But at the start of the movie, it started off with his friends, right? And they didn't seem like friends. They seemed like family right off the get-go. especially since everyone knew already within the storyline that LeBron James had a single mother and that their parents, they had been together basically since birth. So that connection was almost just there, like instantaneously. And they played, I'm pretty sure, what was it, all the way from, was it AAU all the way up to high school together?
Yeah.
It wasn't the Fab Four. It turned into the Fab Five. Remind me how that.
Yes, it was Fab Four. Then it went to Fab Five around the end.
Around the end, that was back in high school. Do you remember who got added late? What was his name? I couldn't remember him, honestly. I was just sticking with the Fab Four. Honestly, nah. To be honest, the twist at the end of the movie that really had me stuck was that they actually had the players, except for LeBron. They had actually the players in the cast. They were. One was a janitor, if I'm not mistaken. One was just in the audience, and 2 others were just shown around the movie. But I like that aspect of just being allowing them to see their lives play out and what it really meant for them to grow up that type of way. And it kind of, I'm trying to figure out how to word it, but it kind of, I don't know, it doesn't almost sit right that they had to do that way. You see what I'm saying? So with LeBron James obviously having a single mother, that's unfortunately common even still to now. But just having to see that and recognize that as reality, it just never quite sat right with me. But I'm glad that they were able to prosper through that, and even still close friends today now, just dealing with those connections, still being very close, even though LeBron James ended up being the most successful compared to everybody else. They're still in very close touch, if I'm not mistaken, to this day. In fact, the picture at the end of the movie was all them side by side. Pretty sure they were all in late 30s probably already. So it shows that they're still in very good contact, and I like that. But on to you specifically, Dalen, because you said you went to Blackman, you know Coach Maston. I want to know how things have changed, because with the way that the youth actually, they're moving fast. I'm not going to lie to you. And the good thing about was, as Bingham said, having that structure in the youth, just being able to keep them contained. But the best mentors have the best of both worlds in having structure, but also being loose and knowing who is who and what they can do and what they just can't do, but even trying to push them towards what the best path is. I feel like that's what makes the best mentor. So what would you say was the hardest transition moving into middle school basketball, especially with Coach Purvis and Coach Maston?
Definitely the skill set.
The skill set? What do you mean by that? Just figuring out your place and your role on the team?
Yeah, just figuring out what I'm capable of and what I can do.
Who taught you how to harness that ability?
To be honest, I can't remember.
You wouldn't be able to pinpoint one person? If you had one person, if you had to put it in a percentage list, just take the highest percentage, who would you say impacted you the most in being able to hone your abilities and be able to become the basketball player you are right now?
Definitely my mom, definitely.
Definitely your mom? All right, I like to hear the mom talk. Always praise to the moms. So with Coach Maston, I've seen him around a little bit, but I haven't really been able to, connect with him like I have in the past. So, is he still open to y'all? Does he ever just like hang out with y'all outside of school or anything like that?
Well, not outside of school, but when we have open gym, he does sometimes just tag along with us and just shoot around with us and talk.
Oh yeah. See, I know his daughter actually. She goes to school with us, so whenever we have like events or stuff like that, I think Lyric had a birthday, if I'm not mistaken. It was a birthday party. I know he was there. Obviously he's gonna be there, but he seemed a little bit more loose and relaxed, and I just like to see that, just being able to see that different side of one of your mentors, especially later down on in life. But Jaden.
Why you look at me like that?
Because it just popped into my mind what you were talking about. In fact, you said you were working at Sonic now, right? I'm not gonna lie.
I'm finna start.
I'm not gonna lie. I just got out of Sonic. I don't wanna get down in the place that I work. But yeah, no. Is that where you saw yourself going for right now?
No.
But it's a start.
Right.
It's a beginning.
Yeah. I worked at this. I'm gonna give him a shout out too. I worked at this shoe store in the Avenue. It's called Run It Back. I had got laid off because we were kind of like overstaffed, but it's a good shoe store. Y'all should definitely check it out. But that was like 5 weeks ago, so I just been job searching ever since Sonic replied. Now I'm there.
I'm not gonna lie, I was gonna go to Arby's for a minute, but I decided that wasn't the best place for me. I don't know, getting out of fast food, going back to it.
Arby's. Nobody eat there.
Well, let's put it like this: if wherever you decide to work, it's a beginning. It may not be your end, but it's somewhere to start. Because just young people wanting to work is very impressive. Yeah. Because it tells me a lot that you are responsible and that you have goals, and it takes money to meet some of those goals. Now, money doesn't do anything with character, because I think your character is built by who you are, what you do, the people in your lives to shape you. So when you get the money, you will know how to access it to yourself and to others. And when you said you have worked in fast food and you want to get out of the fast food, fast food is good for some. And when it's time for you to go, I do believe God closes doors and he opens doors of opportunity. I am just a big dreamer of where you begin, you don't have to end there.
Yeah, like what you said about like responsibility and stuff, especially because now that they just graduated, me and Deshaun are now seniors.
Yeah.
So basically we got a year left of being kids, and then it's just life. So we might as well just go ahead start. Like my dad made me do it, but I gotta pay my car insurance.
Thank you, Dad.
I gotta pay my car insurance already and stuff like
yes.
that. And I haven't been able to do that lately because I'm at a job. But now that I got one, I'm behind a little bit, but I can catch up.
Yeah. That transition is definitely something that hits you, and it hits you in one of the weirdest moments, because you'll just be. For me, I was just sitting there, and I decided one day that online school for the last year was probably gonna be the best, and the moral dilemma was obviously not being able to see my friends for most of the year, and not being able to do certain things. Like I'm still walking across the stage. I'm still doing a lot. In fact, hopefully the way it's planning, I graduate a little bit early, because the way RCVS works is if you can get all the work and you get the curriculum for your homeschool. So realistically, if I wanted to sit there for all of August and grind through all the work 24/7, that is a possibility. But the reason I think I decided that route, not to mature early and not to just end my childhood because I wanted to, but simply because in the moment it felt right. And it's honestly one of those things that just dawn on you, and you're kind of just like, you have to make the decision, because we don't have that much time before school gets back. But so I had to make that decision quick. And thinking back on what I've already done and thinking about the connections that I have right now, I just saw it was the best fit to do that, since I'll still be able to be in touch with you, Gary. In fact, we might not be able to say this on air, but they said they was going to let me come, probably chill in the classroom, probably just sit down for a little bit, because the way the days work is that I'll have at least 2 days off during the week that are just free time, but the other 3 days I'm on a Zoom call for about, I think, 2 to 3 hours. But honestly, that schedule just works for me, because just being able to support and provide, that's just what I want to do, and that's just what felt right. Because sitting in school about 7-8 hours, in those 7-8 hours, I could just do 1,000 different things. I could figure out 100 different ways to make $500, and then if you let that stack, then how much money is that? You see what I'm saying? So why waste that time and why waste that opportunity?
Yeah, like on the way here, we was literally talking earlier. We was like, oh yeah, after graduation or during the school year, we just gonna be hitting each other's lines like, oh, I got a business opportunity. Come meet me. Like,
yeah,
literally.
Come do this, come do that. Just hit every opportunity that's in your way.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Simplicity Radio, and this is our show on youth relations, youth progress, and youth having strength in their own struggles. For we know that these three young men here have definitely been I would say the martyrs. And when martyrs is an old word in the Bible, meaning a living example. And when you practice what you preach, people watch you. So just remember, somebody is watching you to see if they can do what you do. And whatever you do, you always want to break it down, simplify, to tell somebody, hey, you can follow me. You can do this too, no matter what. And that's what I hear you even in your conversation. And Deshaun, I heard you say about school. Now, school is not a waste of time. You know, I'm gonna come back on that one as a teacher, because I do believe education happens every day. That we learn something every day, whether you're in person or whether you're behind a computer. The schooling and the educational process is a process within itself for development. Now, I will say this: you can find some teachers who can be mentors to you and still be silly, right?
Yes.
He called me silly. He said, "Miss Bingham, you still..." Well, no, he didn't say silly. He said goofy. I said, listen here. I said, there's a difference between being hilarious and being a person of humor than being goofy. But my students, that's why I love them. That's how they can relate to me. We're talking about building relationships. What teacher do you remember that made you feel like, you know what, this is cool. They're cool. They care for me. And it gives you a different mindset of what you want to be, who you can become, and you do it because you know that they're depending on you and you know that they will hold you accountable.
That's kind of where I wanted to take that, and thank you for breaking it down just a little bit more. I just want to clarify a little bit. School in itself is not a waste of time, but the amount of time spent in it could be used better. That's why
I agree.
That's why I thought that this was the best decision.
And do you know that school was designed first to teach about God, to teach about taxes, and to teach about reading, math, and it was 3 things. But now we're getting away from developing thinkers because most people, they graduate now, they don't even know how to balance their checkbook.
It's become a system.
It is a system.
Like, just get them through and then see what job they have.
And
like,
it's
see how they can support it.
it's systemic to have you to depend on somebody else. But like you two were just discussing, and as far as we were saying, you can sit there and think what business you can accomplish. Because let me tell you, there's a gift in every one of us. Basketball, Mom, come over. Basketball became easy for you because the gift was already in you. It's almost like a fish being able to swim. A fish does not take swimming lessons. Am I right about that?
Yes, it definitely knows how to just do it.
Say it again.
It definitely just knows how to just swim.
Just swim. Mom, come over and tell us who you are.
Hello, my name is Kiosha Lusk.
Kiosha Lusk. Now, Kiosha, what did you notice in your son when he was young?
What I noticed was he had a very spark about him. So what I mean by that is he's always spoken about basketball. So he wanted to pursue that. He wants to be in the NBA. So he does have a little rivalry between, teams or whatnot. I mean, Golden State is one of them, and then he likes the Memphis Grizzlies. Mm-hmm. So everybody knows that's 2 different areas, But I just say that he, with the grace of God, he was able to do that. He did have a little setback. He got a little ill at one point and had to step back for a year. But my son just did not let that define him, and he just kept going and, just really loved the basketball itself,
That is amazing. Thank you, Mom. And one thing about it, you have to have that respect for your parents at all times. I was telling somebody the other day, I said, it takes a car to drive you to the practice, and you don't have a driver's license. So that's where sacrifice and Thanksgiving comes in.
Always on the forefront. Yes, ma'am. Yes,
right.
Ma'am.
Thank you, Mom.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay, Deshaun, take it over.
I got you. All right, so really we're just going to get really into the real. So with you being a black man, I know, in my experience, I've had a couple injuries, and they have, let's put it like this, they have taken care of me in a sense, but have you had any injuries already in your life so far? During sports related or anything?
I think yes, if I'm not mistaken.
What happened?
Well, I do have a bad ligament to my leg, so if I run and I do too much and I don't got my brace, it might give out on me during the game.
Okay, yeah, I definitely feel you. Back in middle school, when I was doing tailback, it was just a regular game. I was just running to the end zone. I scored a touchdown, and I'm not gonna reveal the other team, but I was well within the end zone. But it was basically a dog pile. But as everyone was getting up, one dude decided that as he was getting up, he was going to use my knee as a surface to get up. And ever since then, I've had it. It just kind of pops. So it's kind of just not too bad. But, you know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things that it just never really got taken care of properly. I thought that it would have been. And some could say, like, I should put that on my own time, go to a doctor. But during the games, we had wonderful physicians. It's just a matter of follow up with what to do and how to proceed. It just wasn't there. So I didn't know if they had improvements on that or not. But if you're saying, so did your injury happen at school?
Yes, when we were doing a concert.
Oh, so so you remember exactly how it happened?
I was running. We were playing kickball, if I'm not mistaken, and I ran, and then it just gave out on me.
Oh, so it's just a matter of circumstances in life. I feel you. Did you immediately go to somebody about it?
Definitely my mom.
Anybody at the school?
Nah.
Nah. Understandable though. Honestly, I wouldn't either. I'm not gonna lie. I'd tough it out until I got home too. I'd be like, Mom, bro, my knee hurt. My knee hurt. But one of the bigger injuries that I had was I don't know if I've stated it before, but wait, let me get back to it. How old were you when you had your injury? How old are you now?
I'm 11 right now.
You're 11. Okay. How old were you when you had the injury? Were you?
I was about 10.
10. So it's been a little bit. It's still giving you issues like that?
Not really.
Is it still like, so it's just there, it's just in and out?
Just depends on what I'm doing.
Okay. It's like a strenuous thing. You can't get overworked with it.
Right.
Honestly, like I was telling you, I think some of the people out there already know, but if you look up a pneumomediastinum or a pneumothorax, in fact, I was telling Ms. Bingham, she getting interested now because I told her half the story, but I told her she was going to have to wait. But basically just to run down the story, what it is it's an air pocket within your body, and where mine was close to it was, so a pneumo, if you look up a pneumothorax, it's going to be in one of your lungs, and it's going to be like a gash, almost just like it's just open, and that trapped air in your body creates amount of pressure, and also if it gets to your airways, it gets pretty bad. But a pneumomediastinum, straight down the middle, like almost just in the throat. I'm not sure if mine was air pocket locked in the throat or if something happened with my lungs, but I remember that it was like I told Ms. Bingham, was at a regular football practice, just running tailback, just normal bubble screen. For y'all that don't know what that is, a bunch of people are supposed to be blocking for me, and I'm supposed to just score. That's what every player is designed to do. But obviously there was a slip up, and when I got the ball, as soon as I looked forward, I was able to dodge the first guy. I wasn't gonna name drop, but I dodged the first guy, and I'm landing on my feet because he went under me, so I had to kind of hurt him a little bit. So I'm gaining my balance, gaining my footing again, and then all I see is this 6'3", 220-pound 5-star linebacker, and he basically hits me square in my chest with his helmet. And at that point, I really don't feel hurt at all. It was weird, honestly. If I had to say it, I felt normal. I felt like I took a hit, and I feel like my body's just going to adjust later. Like I said, like it just felt normal. But as the day went on, it ended up being late at night, and I'm just now just getting out the shower, doing my normal night routine, and then I go to get a water bottle, right, just trying to set up for the night, and then my throat closes on me, and I'm over here confused why, but luckily at the time my brother was studying to be a paramedic, so he knew some procedures to help I don't know what he did. He got my airways open or something. I could breathe a little bit, and I was able to get enough words out. I need to get to the hospital. And basically it was already 11:30 at night before we left the house, and the whole time I'm getting lack of oxygen, but I'm not getting no oxygen, so I'm stable enough, right? And if I know Mom's tuned in right now, I can't remember the first hospital, but I think we ended up going.
It was in Murfreesboro.
I know that it was either Stone. I think we went to Stonecrest. Was it Stonecrest or? Well, I know Stone. I know a Stone one, but I'm not.
And then you ended up in Nash. Was it?
Listen, y'all, I was passed out by the time we got to the second hospital. So the first hospital we got to, godforsaken hospital. I don't ever want to go there again. Sorry to speak that on the air, but I'm not going to the hospital ever again. It's 12 o'clock at night, and the hospital's full. Obviously, I get that, and I'm not trying to put myself before anybody. But the way my mom explained it was, hey, this kid can't breathe. Like he needs help. Like, and at the time I'm like struggling. I'm like there trying to like just all closed up and stuff, and I really did need help. With everybody else there, and we waited honestly we only waited about 20-30 minutes, and half the hospital hadn't even left yet. So we got up, and now it's midnight, and we're traveling to the second hospital. I want to say it's Stone something, but I was
so to help everybody understand what actually did they do to help you your airways stay open that we can even hear you today?
Okay, so what my brother did was I'm not sure if I don't want to call it the Heimlich maneuver because I know that's supposed to get out for choking, but he did open up my airways. My arms were up and he was behind me. He was putting pressure down that way I could, or not pressure down, but pressure forward that way something opened up. And I would have to ask him. Actually, I'd probably get him on here that way one day we can get this full detailed explanation of how he did it. But my arms were up. All I knew is that I could breathe a little bit out of my right side, but my left side was a little bit more closed up. And so what I did was I just had to stay like that for as long as I could with a little bit of forward lean. And I'm not sure exactly why, but that's what I had to do in that exact moment.
And then when you got to the doctors, what did they actually do?
So the first set of doctors, like I said, did absolutely jack nothing. So the second set of hospital, I was asleep during the procedure, and apparently the way it can happen is that they can put a hole in you to get all the excess air out. Mm-hmm. And my friend Cody, he had I'm not sure if it was he had a total. I've had up to 4. They can be light, and the biggest one was this first one that I'm explaining now.
And when it occurs, what happens to you?
So your airways are blocked. There's trapped air in your body, and it also creates pressure within your body. So since that air has no way to get out, not only is it blocking the way it's supposed to get out, like it's blocking it with itself, almost like a bubble. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So it creates like an air bubble, and if it gets too big, it can't go through. And since that's still in your body, if it keeps building and building, that's pressure all up inside you. And I don't remember the exact term of something I could do if I do overstrenuous work. Then there was I forgot the exact terminology, but there was like it could pop, something could pop.
So how does your body feel when how do you know that this
my throat will close up? Like I literally just cannot breathe. That's really just about it. So it really hits you out of nowhere because it's I guess it happens almost instantaneously. So the second and like third time it happened, they were lighter ones, but you definitely knew they're there. And a good sign is since your airways are trapped, they made a joke out of it. I sound like Donald Duck because of the way the air was coming through. So they said, "Oh, Donald Duck is back." So let's get him right.
Now to play sports, where are you with that?
Nada, zero now. Okay. So it happened my sophomore year. I'm currently in my junior year, going to my senior year, like we said earlier. But the main one was that sophomore year, like I said, and I tried to come back mid-season. So this was around August, or actually a little bit before. The season hadn't even started yet. So a little bit, and actually I think it was I want to say July. I just want to keep it safe, keep it just middle of summer, but it kind of took a part of me away, if I'm not gonna lie about it, because at that point in time I was just focused on being specifically a return man. It just felt free, like I got the ball, I got people I can trust in front of me, and for me it was relatively light work if I could say that. But to have that stripped away from me in an instant, and not even in an instant, I always had hopes, and even now still have hopes of being able to build up my body in a way that I can take that kind of damage and not have that recurring injury. But
one thing I want to say, even during an injury, I have so many young boys, they want to go into the field of sports, and when I hear I want to play basketball or I want to play football, when I ask a question, what do you want to do after you get out of school? What do you want to do when you grow up? Those are those basic questions that we ask in elementary. When I hear the sports, I said, well, you can't go study sports in college. However, there's something you have to choose another idea of where you're going to bring yourself for as a career, because simply just what we're talking about now, even with you in football and you in basketball, when those injuries do occur, you have to have something to fall back on. And that's why I said, find those, be dual, have a multiplicity of what you can do and your studies. Now, you said it took something away because your goal, your dream was to be in professional sports, perhaps.
Right, but like you were saying, it's always good to have that backup plan. I wouldn't necessarily call it a backup plan, because at the time, I guess I wasn't taking it seriously. I took it more seriously, obviously, after the injury happened. But criminal justice, that's something that I'm really deep into.
Good.
And it's unfortunate that a part of the decision we're going online, they don't have that, because it's what they call a elective class. So it's not like it's not required curriculum. So I can't take it in the online course. But the reason I did the online course, just to be specific about earlier, is that free time that I have, and I'm not using that free time to slack off. I'm not using that free time to do the things that I would want to do if I'm in school. It's using that opportunity to be more productive. And what I decided what I was going to do is actually follow up heavy on that criminal justice pathway and study it on my own.
Absolutely.
Create a type of program, maybe even where I could teach those skills to others, or maybe they could learn those skills themselves. So something like that.
Because, even with the criminal justice, you're a leader already. You're a leader already, whether it was sports, whether it's criminal justice, whether it's getting these guys together to be on the radio show, whether it's your photography. Education is a part of that. But who you want to be, all of that comes, it's almost like progress. It branches off of something. You got to bounce off of somebody. Somebody has to encourage you. Dalen, do you have any thoughts about injuries? You said something about your leg and you're running, and then your mom was saying something about even at birth, your heart, and we want to say to everybody, you can still do things when you're injured, or when you're down, or when you're not the one that on top, or the least likely, or like they say, at risk, and all of these. Let nothing stop you from becoming a dreamer. Mom, come and just share a little bit even about the birth and what you see, that it has not hindered him, but you have to still be careful, but yet you can still have that dream and share that dream with him.
Okay, just to go along with what Miss Bingham was speaking on, my son was diagnosed with congestive heart failure in the state of when he was ready to do basketball. And as I spoke earlier, that's when I was saying he was ill. He was set back from a year. He was doing taekwondo as well, and that's when we figured the symptom. He was having irregular heartbeats, and he was sweating so bad that they thought something was wrong. And so we did a cardiac thing, and that's when we found out that he had congestive heart failure at 7 years old. And he's now 11, and he still battles with it from time to time. But with God, all things are possible, because I will say that he went from 1,900 beats in the day and 900 at night to now we're down to 3 to 4 extra beats. So there is a guide, because he's able to pursue that. Not maybe to the degree that he wants, but he can still now pursue his basketball, even though he thought there was a setback like Sean was speaking on. He just had that driven spirit that you can't tell me I can't. I will do it, even though it takes me time. I might be out of breath. And that's a lot to process at that age. And so I'm proud of him for that. He was able to, do basketball this summer with Blackman. So I just wanted to add that in there, that, you might have a little setbacks here and there, but with God, all things are possible. But you have to believe, and you will pursue your dream.
Can I get an amen?
Amen.
And just real quick before we move on from the sport of topics, I do have to shout out one young man in his group. His name is Daquan, and he is with Cat Choreography, and his coach's name is Mr. Craig and Mr. Todd. Wonderful people. I met them at the Juneteenth event, and I want you to know that if you get the opportunity to see that team in action, you definitely should. Don't miss up on that opportunity. But just continuing off of Dalen, do you have any input on anything that's been said so far? We kind of just been throwing everything out there. You got anything? You got any questions?
Yes. How was your experience with coaches at Blackman?
So, with the coaches, if we're going all the way back in time, Coach Pierce was the first tough lesson that I had in a person, because he wasn't that slack around type. He really just wasn't. And that's where I kind of got my first look at the sports world of how difficult it would be to push myself and be on this competitive level with others. I remember the first real test I had was when Coach Pierce, it was finally my 8th grade year, my 6th and 7th grade year. I'm not going to lie, I was garbage. I was bad. I was not good. So 8th grade year rolls around, and I made sort of a name for myself. And now we got a man named Anthony Coyer coming in the fray. And he's a special talent, still is. He grinds hard to this day, and people don't like the ego about him, but the ego it comes with something behind it, so you can't really doubt the man. But Coach Pierce, he just looked at me and was like, hey, go up against Coyer. Because Coyer, he had been it turns out that a lot of them had actually been playing football since they were like 4 together, something like that. It ended up being like 5 or 6. They're still a group to this day. And I didn't join football until I was in middle school. But he made me go up against him, and it ended up being like a 2 out of 3. So we went 3 times, and I think, I'm not gonna lie, I think he got the better of me. But the one time that Coach Pierce, he looked at me and he said it's not in you. And then that was the play. I actually did it to 2 people, but Dewan and Donovan after that, they know about that story. But
why do you think? Let me interject. Why do you think he said that?
Maybe he saw it.
They do a lot of reverse psychology.
Maybe he saw it because at the time I was in that year I was hanging with what would be the starters, and that day specifically, I guess I had shown a lack of enthusiasm, lack of just going, lack of just doing, and in that moment, I guess he just decided to trigger what he thought would be best for me, and it ended up working for those next two or three rounds. And it was the Oklahoma set, so it was once you did like either you make somebody fumble or you got to chuck somebody. So I made Donovan and Dewan fumble, and then I was out for a day. He was like, that's what I like to see. And then at that point it was just good, and we had a lot of surrounding coaches. His brother showed up, great man as well. I want to remember all their names. Coach Smith, Coach Gerke, all of them. That's going up into high school, but I can't remember all their names, and I do apologize because I do love and appreciate every human being that takes time out of their lives to dedicate to the younger community and just younger generation in general, just to be able to see them grow up, especially being coaches throughout most of their lives. But honestly, that was the greatest bunch I had to be a part of. And moving up into high school with football and track, it was more or less the same, but as people grow older, it gets more political, and the coaches kind of step back, and it's they're I don't want to say it like this because most players like you look as you get older, they're more not so peers but consultants, because you still have to listen to your coach. But at the end of the day,
that's what I was going to say. Because when you said listen to your coach, I was going to ask you guys, you said we were talking about having a being with a single mom. I use that term lightly, and I put it in air quotes, because I do believe when you have parents, they will get people in your presence that will help you, and coaches are one when you do have the absence of one of your parents, whether it be the father, whether it be the mother. I think they come and they put that value, and they value you. Did you feel that at all, Deshaun? Did you feel that any on you, Dayla and Gary? Did you feel that as well? You know, what did your coaches add, you know, to your life in just maybe about a minute, because our show is winding down. It doesn't take long when we are talking and we find out good stuff, you know, and the next thing you know, I'm saying we're not out of talk, but we are out of time. So we want to give that minute to see what did that coach, how did that coach make a difference? And did they know they were making a difference? Because I said a lot of times when we see, even as teachers, when we see that spunk, that spark is not there, we can use reverse psychology to the good of you, but never to destroy or to harm you.
Yes, ma'am.
How did you see that in your coaches, all three of you?
Honestly, from my coaches, if I have a multitude of coaches, and to be honest, I love all my coaches that have been at the school. I love all the organizations that they put together and all the time they put. But honestly, the best coach that I had, and honestly, I'm hoping to get him on the 23rd. We're going to have a mentors episode. Hopefully I can get everybody that I want to. And you're going to see some pretty big names, big faces up there. But Mike, that's what I call him, Michael Whitaker. He, like Miss Bingham was saying, a coach can be a guardian of some sorts because they fill that role, but also vice versa. A guardian or a family member of some sort can be a coach. And in that, he built me up with sports. He taught me how to be tough in a sense, not just like going everywhere with a hard shell, but just being able to hold your own and having that tough skin, not letting things get to you. And I would like to say that was probably my biggest coach. And he knew it. Honestly, like when a coach, like, to be honest, you'll know what you're doing when you do it, especially in a coach's position, because you'll know that you're either trying to build their life up in the right way or you're just trying to get on to the next player or next superstar. And Mike definitely knew what he was doing when he was building me up with those words of encouragement, and also put me through some of those difficult times to make sure I was stronger.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll say he actually teaches at the middle school. He's a history teacher, Coach Smith.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Cause like when I did track for the first time in 8th grade, well before that I wanted to do basketball, and I used to play basketball, but I got into like a car accident, triggered my asthma to come back, had a major setback, so I stopped. And then so I wanted to do track. Man, I tell you, I got on that track, I would run not even half the track, I'm down on the ground. It was that bad. Coach Smith, the thing is, like, I don't know what, but he saw something in me. He did not let me quit. He said I could take a break, but I could not leave until I could, like, every track practice, even after everybody's gone, I couldn't leave until I finished a full lap. And the thing is, he just saw me, because, you know, like, track teams, everybody, even though we competing with other teams, we still competing with each other at the end of the day.
Most definitely.
And everybody ego is so, like, I'm not naming names, but like
it's
some pretty big egos on there.
We know.
And it's like a lot of people are gonna say things that are just, you know what, you're gonna want to quit. Cause I thought I was a fast runner until I stepped on that track. I saw everybody else. I'm like,
he saw Gary.
No,
Gary.
Man, you know, Coach Smith put me in a race with Gary one time.
That's actually
I was finna quit. Nah,
that's foul. I'm not gonna lie.
I love that. I love that because what it teaches us in life, that we have to get along with all people, and people have many different skills, but you don't cut yourself short or sell yourself short because of somebody else's greatness, because it's still a progress and a process of why you're there. Somebody else may run the 50-yard dash in 2 minutes, and somebody else may run it in okay, you know I'm not track, okay?
That's sad.
I was just giving an example.
2 minutes.
Hey, they walking him off the track.
Maybe like a 2.4.
But the point is, everybody is there for a reason. You know, and everybody has their position on the field to do. Like you were saying, football. Somebody may be, you know, excellent in passing and poor in kicking, but you know, everybody is needed on that team.
Yes, ma'am.
And if we see that team mindset, you know what, guys, we can get along. We can do a lot in life. But when you come there thinking that you're entitled and that it's all about you, then you'll never develop that mindset that we work together.
Yeah, I feel
we
you,
win
like,
together. We lose together.
Yeah, like being honest, 8th grade track year got cut short after one meet, so I never got to see none of my progress. I just saw my start. And from 8th grade, let's say I ran the 100 meter dash, 14 seconds. That is bad. Like, that is bad.
Oh,
Not that
okay.
Now, like, so I wasn't able to train that much because of COVID, but I got some work in, and I did track this year that just passed, like junior year. Okay, again, I started off bad because it's been a while, but I made progress throughout. Like, I got my 100 time from 14 seconds exact down to like 13.1, nearly 12 seconds. That's still not as good as I want it to be, but I'm getting there. And like my 200 time, the first meet of junior year, 200 time, 28.86 seconds, right?
Wow.
I got that down to 26.8. Oh, like I got it down. Like I just kept running. Coach Sutton, he's hard, but he be pushing us though. Like it worked. It worked. Coach Sutton.
I think the toughness, when they're tough and when they're firm, I do believe it sparks something within it, and it sparks that within us saying, I can't do this. They believe in me, and you're telling yourself, oh, I cannot do this. But when they keep telling you, keep pushing you, eventually you get to where they have your goals set.
He'll have the whole team on the ground ready to throw up. Man, every time Deshaun was in that practice, I was like, sometimes let me just skip and go hang with him.
Right.
I had to.
But they keep pushing you till they see what they get what they want out of you, and then you take those skills in life and live that same way. Never give up. I can hear your strength in that struggle. I heard your strength in your struggle because Deshaun was the one that took the show and named the show and everything, because youth have problems, you have pressures like everybody else, and you also have progress. So everybody hearing this show can understand that you can persevere through anything.
And what you gotta really understand about, like, and some people won't believe it, won't ever believe it, or just won't even try to believe it. But if you honestly think that there's a cap on progress, like if you think that there's a limit on progress, then you've already limited yourself right then and there. And that already limits how far you can go. Honestly, when you let me
it take a minute, but the small steps count though.
Yeah, but it's more sense of just knowing what it's not even knowing what is possible and what isn't possible. It's about thinking everything's possible and then going with it.
Like Mom said, she said, with God, all things are possible. See, simplicity, I always include God.
Yes, ma'am.
And because because with Him, it really is. All things are possible. Sometimes it looks like you can't, and somebody else is better. But then God says, this is about you at the time, not comparing yourself, but bettering yourself by looking at somebody else, or maybe coming within and finding that inner strength. Okay, you're the last one. Wrap it on up. Now, what have you experienced that you can share with our audience?
Well, also to add on to what you were saying, I mean, like how my mom said, I had to stop for a year, but God is the reason why I'm back and better.
Come on with it.
Speak the
and
truth.
also, I have 2 people that really helped me get through my elementary year during basketball and everything. And one of them is Mr. Hartman. Even though he's my music teacher, not a coach, he's still just there. Easy person to talk to. Just a great person. I love that guy.
I remember.
And then also my coach, Coach Noah. He helped me get better. He helped me get my skill set pretty good. And he was just a good person, easy to talk to also.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And when you find those mentors and those just human beings that love people,
really,
that's really what it is.
People. That's really what it is.
That's the bottom line, and to me, that's what simplicity is all about. And as we reposition for another year coming in, I just want people to know, hey, simplify what you do. Show somebody else that it can be done. That's it. And Jackson, our producer, is coming back in, and he's wrapping us up. And like we say, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in with us. We want to give a quick announcement that on your 4th of July, make sure you're celebrating and celebrate safe for those who are celebrating the 4th of Independence Day. And we just got finished celebrating Juneteenth, and that is Independence Day for a lot of people as well. But when you celebrate who you are. Celebrate that God gave you life, and give Him some honor and glory. And on the we're going to talk about WAB Sports. They'll be celebrating with a celebrity golf tournament this July the 15th and the 16th. And it will be at the Fish House Bar and Grill for the Youth Annual Appreciation Day. Wayne Buckingham, he's one of our former professional basketball players, and he has a foundation with WAB Sports, and he's doing tools for success, tools for school, and they want to put smiles on every young person's face. They'll be giving out over 1,000 bags for children with school supplies, and he wants us to participate in that, and you can pay $150 towards scholarships. And we want everybody in that Kroger parking lot. They're going to have jumping houses. We're going to have him call in and tell about it. And then the golf tournament will be at Indian Hills this year, and we want everybody to support this. And they have gone across the country, and especially in Middle Tennessee, building parks and building basketball goals and playgrounds for children to have a place to go and a place to occupy themselves. Because the old people would say the devil's idle mind is a devil's workshop. So we want to keep that mind as a thinking mind, so you all can be the best that you can be. Okay, Jackson, how much time do we have? 1 minute. Well, we want to thank Mom. We want to thank Dalen. We want to thank Deshaun. We want to thank Gary. Mom, give me your name again. Keosha. We want to thank Keosha. We want to thank everybody who did something to get you all here.
Let's thank Miss Bingham, of course.
Definitely Miss Bingham.
Try to forget yourself now. How you gonna try to forget yourself now?
And also thank our producer,
Jackson. Jackson is
yes,
in.
sir.
So everybody, we love you. Thank you. God bless. And remember, simplicity is not for some time. Simplicity is for a lifetime. Good night.